What is going on, guys? Eagle Aquatics back here, and in this video I'm coming at you with another care guide. This time it's going to be on the rose bubble tip anemone. Love these guys. Can't rave enough about these guys. Love anemones. I've always wanted to keep one. I finally got the chance when I got the 60-gallon aquarium. So I wanted one in my BioCube, but never worked out. But love these guys. Couldn't be more happy with the one I got. And who doesn't love the relationship between an anemone and a clownfish? It's just awesomeness. It's going to be the coolest thing in your reef tank. It's my favorite thing in my reef tank. So let's get into this video, guys. I'm going to be talking about the colors of them, the tank size, feeding, temperament, lighting, but yeah, here we go, guys. So the bubble tip anemone comes in multiple colors. Believe it or not, I was at my LFS, my favorite LFS, a couple weeks ago, and I seen a gold anemone, gold bubble tip anemone. So they come in gold. Rainbow bubble tip anemones are completely awesome. You got your generic bubble tip anemones, which are awesome. If you want to save some money, they're great. And you got your rose bubble tips, which are probably the most common, most favored upon reef hobbyists. So yeah, the color for them. So we'll get into the feeding now. As you guys see, I got Hikari krill for my anemone. He loves krill. I feed mine krill because there's no bones or anything in there, and they're not very big, like silver sides or like chopped squid or something like that. So I feed them. I feed mine about, I'd say 3 or 4 times a week. Piece of krill. Krill aren't that big. They're about the size of a quarter. So I think it's like the perfect meal for an anemone like my size. It's also a blast to feed these guys. As you guys seen, I use tweezers to feed. I just put it down in the tank and he grabs onto it. They elongate their tentacles and make them sticky when they're hungry. All you got to do is dangle the krill or silverside squid anywhere on their tentacles, and they'll stick to it. And then with their tentacles, they'll drag it to their mouth. Their mouth gets giant, and then they swallow the krill. It's the coolest thing to watch. And my clownfish doesn't even try to get the food. It's the other fish, but they're scared of it anyway. But yeah, blast to feed these guys. Make sure you feed them. Don't just let them rely off the light, because they're not going to get their full needs, nutritional needs or anything, and they're not going to show very good results. So make sure you feed these guys, get them on a routine diet, and yeah, they'll show you impressive results. So the tank size for this, like I said, I wanted mine by BioCube, but it was too late. I already filled it with corals. So when I got this 60-gallon tank, I wanted to add an anemone first, so he could claim his territory, get to his spot, get to his favorite lighting and flow patterns, and be happy there. So I added my anemone before I added corals. A lot of people say you need a mature reef tank to add an anemone. I say that's false, just as long as your parameters are really good and you keep your anemone fed and give him his lighting requirements. You do not need a mature tank. That's just my opinion. So if you wanted to add one first, go right ahead. It worked for me. So I'd say the minimum tank size, honestly, if this is going to be the only thing, you want to keep it a tank with a clownfish or something like that, I'd say minimum 20, 30 gallons if this is going to be the only thing in the tank, so he has the whole tank to himself. Otherwise, bigger tanks, you could add them with as many corals as you want. It'll just look awesome. My anemone has given me super impressive color results, and everybody loves it. It's just such a cool animal. Now the temperament of these anemones, they are aggressive towards other anemones and corals. They will sting. They'll sting other anemones and corals. I've experienced that. Every now and then my anemone will go down to the lower ledge underneath the rock he usually sits on, and go down and sting that my rock flower anemone down there sometimes. Um, it's not usually enough to kill him. It just makes him mad, and he shrivels up and doesn't open for a couple hours after the anemone goes away. So they will sting anything in their path, but the rose bubble tip anemone does not move nearly as much as some other anemone species, like per se like condi anemones, or like I don't even know. I know there's multiple types, but this is definitely the best anemone for a reef tank. Any bubble tip anemone type, I don't know. But yeah, they will sting. Keep that in mind. But if you put them in a spot where they have enough light and enough flow, then they should stay there. Mine stayed. Hasn't moved in a couple months. He will shift side to side sometimes, but not usually. So lighting for these guys, they do require highlighting, medium to highlighting, I'd say. I have Kessel A160WEs, the tuna blue variant, and he does just fine under them. I keep mine I think they ramp up to 70% for a couple hours per day, and he perfect under them. A lot of people buy these guys for their bubble tips. I personally have not experienced that with mine, maybe because my lighting's not powerful enough, but I'm trying to ramp it up slowly to see if he will bubble up. But even if he didn't, I still think he looks awesome just how he is right now. But to make them bubble up, you probably need to put them under super high powered like fluorescence or metal halides, like something like that. But he does just fine under my lights. And the flow for these guys, give them a lot of flow. They love the flow. As you can see, his tentacles are going crazy. If they don't get flow, they're just going to sit there like a big mass and not move. They're not going to be happy. They're not going to be healthy. So give them flow. I get a lot of flow in this tank. I have a Hydor Corellia, the 1500 gallon per hour one, and blows around. He loves it. So he's fine there. Now, as far as clownfish that host these types of anemones, I've researched and personal experience that maroon clownfish and the Clark's anemone fish are the most likely to host most anemones. My maroon clown, when I added the anemone, he didn't always have an anemone live in. Like, if you guys remember, he was in my BioCube, had nothing. So he used to host that brain coral. I don't know why. But I put the anemone in the tank. Took him a few days to realize the anemone was there, or for him to swim inside of it. But one day I just walked up the tank. He was in. He hasn't left it since. He's always inside of the anemone or around it. He only leaves pretty much to chase off any fish or eat. So, yeah, I got him. Be prepared. If you add an anemone in the tank, your clownfish definitely will get a lot more aggressive, especially if you have a maroon clownfish. Mine definitely got very aggressive. He's only aggressive to the fairy wrasse that's in there. I don't know why. They've always hated each other. But he doesn't really bother anymore, but he is very defensive. So be prepared. They do get, I think any clownfish will get more aggressive if you give an anemone, because he's guarding it and protecting it. And the anemone's protecting him. So that's just nature for it. But I find it to be awesome. I love the aggressiveness out of my clownfish. I just think it's awesome, the way he guards it and everything. So, yeah, those are probably the two best clownfish to host them. There are a lot more different types, but that's my favorite. So yeah, the size on these guys, they're pretty big. They're a bigger variant of anemones.
Oh yeah.
I've heard them reaching sizes of like a foot long. Actually, my LFS had a really giant one. I think his was like, it was huge, like 2 feet. but he has a massive tank. Plenty of room for him to spread and grow. Alright, video. And, yeah, sorry about that, guys. My dad just walked in the room. But yeah, these guys will get pretty big. Like I said, if it's the only fish in the tank, or if it's the only creature in the tank, you can get away with a 20-gallon because he's got more than enough room. But yeah, my overall opinion on these guys, would I recommend them to the beginner? Honestly, if I was a beginner, I'd start with just a mainstream coral reef, maybe upgrade to a bigger tank, and then get an anemone. They are not hard to care for at all. All you got to do is give them enough light, give them enough flow, and feed them. Mine is basically like another coral in the tank. Really not hard to care for at all. So, yeah, guys, highly recommend this guy to anybody. If you're just beginning, maybe not, but move on, upgrade your tank, and yes, they're great. Perfect candidate for a reef tank. You will be super impressed. They are a little pricey, but once you buy them, they're just going to grow. And they split too, so you'll wind up with more than one in the future. So who doesn't want that? It's just a great creature to have in your tank. It's just awesome. So my overall opinion, couldn't be more happy. For here on out, if I have any more saltwater reef tanks, I will always have an anemone in there. I'd like to experiment on some more different types, but this is my favorite, so super happy. So yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below telling me what you guys want to see next, what you guys want to see videos of. As I said, I am going to be cranking out more videos on YouTube. So yeah, subscribe, guys. Tell your friends about this channel. Just starting, stay tuned. I got all the stuff, care guides and stuff for you to become successful. So yeah, see you later.